Today is Thursday, October 30th. Jude Gussie back here once again, and we are going to be taking a look at the injury report today ahead of Week 9 of the NFL season. So let's jump right into it. Buffalo Bills, Josh Palmer out this week. I don't think that's anything to, like it says, not likely, not enough to warrant fantasy consideration. So Ray Davis, oh well. A few extra carries, but James Cook is balling out regardless. So we know Tyreek Hill and Darren Waller are out, like we talked about last week as well. Ramondre Stevenson appeared on Wednesday's injury report as a non-participant. So let's see if there's been any updates on behalf of Ramondre Stevenson. Nothing new. Okay. Another practice. Looking like from CBS Sports. Let's see what we can find here. Didn't participate in Thursday's practice with the toe injury. Potentially, they're going to wait and see what he's able to do tomorrow. So, tomorrow is going to be the deciding factor. And I also wouldn't be surprised if they said he's a game time decision. So, definitely something to keep an eye on if you're a Ramondre. If you're a Ramondre stasher, and if you're a Travion Henderson holder, definitely, even if Ramondre starts, I think that Travion Henderson is a great start this week because regardless of if Ramondre plays or not, I think because of how much practice time he's missed, I think that Travion would see an increase in snaps and carries anyways. So if Ramondre starts, if he doesn't, I'd go with Henderson. I would start Henderson this week. Diggs is on track to play in Week 9. He's going to keep doing what he's been doing with Drake May. And Drake May has been balling. So, looks like Garrett Wilson will be back soon. And Braylon Allen is still out. So, Breece Hall, keep looking for him. Tyrod Taylor, knee injury Wednesday, week out. Oh, well, they have a week 9 bye, so never mind. These don't even matter. These don't matter. Garrett Wilson should be great after the bye week, yeah. It's the Browns. He should be feeling good. Let's see about Braylon Allen. Yeah, okay. We don't think he'll be back for a while. Josh Reynolds, forget it. All right. Lamar Jackson, back. Lamar Jackson is back. Tonight's the night. I'm not sure what the spread is, but they're playing the Dolphins, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be heavily in Baltimore's favor. But we can check that real quick. Seven and a half favorites against the Dolphins tonight in Miami. So that just shows you kind of the current state of the Dolphins. And Mike McDaniel, I think that it's going to be a surprise if he's still there at the end of this year. So Lamar Jackson back tonight. Elite QB1. Got must start. Must start if you have Lamar Jackson. Joe Burrow toe. Let's see. Successful surgery. Likely to miss the next 3 months like we have known. I think he's going to be out of the picture for fantasy consideration. Maybe like a late playoffs, like championship week. But even at that case, I think what they're worried about right now is making sure that Joe is ready for the NFL playoffs and not fantasy playoffs. So don't expect to have him back. If you're playing redraft, I'd feel fine with dropping him. But of course, keep holding him in Dynasty because he's an elite Dynasty tight end. So Gesicki, Flacco. 50-50 for Flacco. 100% agree with this. If they start Jake Browning, it raises a lot of question marks for Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Chase Brown. So, yeah, these guys have been doing just fine with Flacco starting, but if Jake Browning is starting, it definitely raises some question marks. And if you have a loaded roster and you're confident in a lot of the guys on the bench, if Jake Brown starts this week, it might be a week to let those guys on the bench go play. Stefanski says he expects Tillman to return following the Week 9 bye. Look for Isaiah Bond to get less targets. That's kind of been the guy that's worked his way up. And Harold Fannin, and well, expect everyone to take a hit because Tillman has been balling out. He was a waiver wire guy from last year, so expect a little bit of drop in targets, maybe one each. Not a lot, but a little bit of a drop. Bye week in week 9, so Judkins can hopefully be back after week 10. Oh my gosh, there's a fire truck outside. That is incredibly loud. If you guys heard that. Johnny Smith. If Freiermuth is out in week 9, but still, the Pittsburgh tight ends outside of Johnny Smith are pretty hard to understand and predict with. Houston Texans, Joe Mixon. Let's see, when is Joe Mixon going to be back? Reevaluate it in a few weeks. Let's see. Joe Mixon. Projected return. No official timeline. Late season return. Could happen in December. But this is considered a long shot. So let's lose all hope on Joe Mixon. Limited. Nico Collins could potentially be back. Looking like he's tracking to return against the Broncos in week 9. All right. Yeah, what was this freak accident? I've kept hearing about this. An IR. Yeah, it was like a resistance band thing, but doesn't even matter because Daniel Jones has been balling out. So nothing there. Limited on Wednesday for BTJ. Let's see what Travis Hunter does, as well as a limited role for limited performance on Wednesday for De'Ami Brown. So let's see what Travis Hunter does. I would like to see him get an increased role. He begins week 9 with another absence. Let's see DK keep balling out. DK is a man. 8 targets for Elick and DK. So I'm excited to see these guys keep working with Cam Ward, and they're on the same timeline. So they're gonna be kind of, they came into the league together. They were in college at the same time coming into the league, so they're gonna be kind of all lined up for the next couple of years. And I think if they can keep building an O-line and getting that offensive scheme together, I think that young core could be pretty exciting, pretty fun to watch grow. I wonder if Tyler Lockett's going to be picked up by anybody. I don't know if he has yet. Let's see here. Raiders. Okay, I did not know that. I don't think he's going to be worth a spot, but it's good to know. It's good to always be updated on that stuff. Marvin Mims. Let's see. Entered the protocol on Sunday. Potentially, I think he'll be out. That hit that Pacheco took against the Commanders on Monday Night Football, that was nasty. I was like, oh, his season's over watching it live, but it's only a sprained MCL, so he's week to week and very, very lucky. And guess who is back? Brock Bowers. Bowers is practicing in full for week 9 against the Jags, and that is absolutely correct. He's an elite tight end one in Dynasty, so I'm excited for his return. All right, let's see. Still walking in a boot after the week 8 win. So a couple more weeks for Marion Hampton. So keep throwing a Kamani Vidal out there. Baller. Limited for Ladd McConkey on Wednesday's injury report. But limited is a good sign. Yes, that is correct. But calves, yeah, they're kind of weird. So with cramping and stuff. And when you're a wide receiver, you want to be quick and be able to move very efficiently. So Quentin Johnston with the touchdown upside, along with more short area targets, could be an option. And then Aronde Gadsden, the second, of course. Seam stretching interior weapon. That's the best way to describe him. What an absolute baller. We're going to skip past all that. Brown did not practice on Wednesday. They have a bye this week, and he could be back after. Barkley left the game, but the team, Rappaport reports that the team does not believe it to be a serious injury. So, Similar with A.J. Brown, the bye week will allow them some time to hopefully get Saquon back to normal. And Tank looked good in the run that he did get. So let's see. Noah Brown on IR. Jalen Lane, rookie, stud. Let's see him ball out. I just need to make sure I'm not gonna say it because I have a guess in my head or where I think he went to college. Yes. No, I was wrong. So I'm not gonna say what my guess was, but he went to Virginia Tech. And Luke McCaffrey, who had that crazy play against the Chiefs. So Daniels returned to practice in week 9. Let's see. He's already out. This is not. Though he's already been ruled out for week 8. He returned to practice in week 9, and then the team will. Okay, so I think that NBC Sports forgot to update this, and for some reason they still have week 7, week 8 information here. I think that Jaden Daniels is going to be back this week, based off of what I'm reading here. Let's see. McLaurin, he's already out for week 9. Oh, that's no fun. Yeah, Debo and Zach Ertz. And along with Jeremy McNichols, he got a lot of targets in the short dump-off game. I was hoping some of those would go to our guy Bill Krosky-Merritt, but no, Jeremy McNichols was a real point scorer on Monday night. Colston Loveland, 6 of 9 for 62 yards over the last 2 weeks. But still, I don't think that you should be comfortable enough yet to start Colston Loveland. I don't think he's proved. Well, I just don't think there's enough targets for him either. There's just so many studs in that offense. So Swift is fine. Moore didn't practice on Wednesday, but he's the healthiest wide receiver, believe it or not. Picked up a heel. Holy crap. The Bears are in shambles. Maybe. And Luther Burden. Okay. So maybe if Colston Loveland is the last guy standing come Sunday, maybe he does deserve a start. So Lions are relatively healthy. Watson is back, played great. And Josh Jacobs was limited on Wednesday. Look at that. Welcome back. J.J. McCarthy. After the week 2 it was early week 2. Played pretty much that entire game against the Falcons with that bad ankle. Didn't look great, but it looks like he is going to be starting this weekend, and all of us in Minnesota are very excited to see a healthy, focused J.J. McCarthy. Week one, I mean, like, first NFL start, and he had that incredible comeback. Week 2, he had a child 3 days before the game, had his first child, and then got hurt in the middle of the game. So I think under those what more difficult circumstances to play a game with? And it was a short week too, because they played Thursday night, I believe. It might have been, or no, it was Sunday night. I can't remember, but I know that they were coming off of a short week as well. So J.J. McCarthy has had time to mentally process everything, mentally process being a dad, and of course recover and heal that ankle. So I'm excited for a healthy and focused J.J. McCarthy. Wentz is done for the year. And a lot of people are giving flack to the coaching staff in Minnesota. Like, why would you throw Wentz out there if he's got a dislocated shoulder and torn labrum? And then Wentz is like, it was my choice. Like, I was the one who said I wanted to, go out there. I knew what I was signing up for. Yeah, it was painful, but I knew what I was getting myself into. And he battled through it. Wentz is hometown kid, right outside Minnesota, right from North Dakota. So it was fun to see him get a shot for his hometown team, but I think it's time for J.J. McCarthy to take over. Let's see. Penix is day-to-day, and Penix will be a QB2 this week if active against the Patriots. So a little bit more Kirk Cousins action. Day-to-day on Monday, who's limited on Wednesday. London is on track to play in Week 9. Pitts is in track to start Week 9, and Mooney was limited, but he hasn't been the guy that we expected him to be, that's for sure. Bryce Young practicing in full for a week against the Packers, and Micah Parsons, Rashawn Gary, a bunch of studs on that defense. So Dalton's out with his thumb injury. So even if they were going to take their time with returning Bryce Young to play, it looks like he's ready to go this week. Shaheed Kamara limited on Wednesday, seemingly aggravated his ankle injury after getting his left foot pinned. He's on track to play this week, but number 2 running back Devin Neal should be rostered. And that was the thing that I was saying preseason. I wasn't saying it out loud because I didn't want my league mates to know, because they know I'm a Kansas guy. They know I'm a big Devin Neal guy, but I'm like, you look at this running back room. Kendre Miller has played, I don't think he's played above 7 games in a season. Alvin Kamara has had injury issues his entire career, and he's getting old. It's a pretty simple path to the starting job for Devin Neal. And who's to say he can't handle a heavy workload? We saw him at the University of Kansas. So I'm excited to see if he gets even more increased run this week after some pass receptions last week. So have an updated Godwin here. Evans, Irving is week to week, out for week 8. Yes, that was week 8. I think Egbuka might be active this week. Let's see. Let's see if Egbuka is on track to start. Off the injury report and good to go is what Reddit says. And that's also what Google AI is telling me here as well. So I'm going to trust it. We're going to trust it. Let's see what Benson is looking like. Let's see. We got to look that one up too. Tentatively targeted for week 10, but it's not a certainty. Well, week 10 is the earliest he could be eligible as a return. 4 to 6 week recovery timeline may allow him to come back 11 or 12. Well, that's great to know. It's good to know that a return is in sight. It's very exciting for us Trey Benson owners to get him back. Okay, expects him to play week 9 unless there's setbacks. Good to know. Good to know. Very important information. Even though Purdy may or may not be back this week, Mac Jones is going to keep doing his thing. So week 9, not looking good for Ricky Pearsall. And it looks like the Seattle Seahawks are going to be in great shape this week. So being informed is one of the most important things in fantasy football, and even more important in Dynasty. So being familiar with players' injury tendencies and the potential for increased role of certain guys in offenses is very important in being successful in fantasy football. So that's all we got for today. And let's have a great weekend of football.